Charles has landed in Scotland and is gathering his army.
You're going to see Lord Lovat.
'Tis a fool's errand. The old fox does nothing without a price.
He does have a history of supporting the Jacobites. I need to speak to Lovat on my own. That's what you're after, is it? Lallybroch, in exchange for sending aid to Prince Charles.
Lallybroch, for your wife's honor.
After the quiet goodbye in episode 2, the story does not reset. It moves forward with a different weight. Everything that comes next is shaped by this moment, even when it is not spoken about. The characters carry it with them, in their eyes, in their silence, in the way they now approach every choice. This is how the episode changes the direction of the final season. From this point on, the story feels more focused. There is less room for comfort and more room for truth. The episode makes it clear that the final season will not avoid pain. Instead, it will face it head-on. That does not mean the story becomes hopeless. It means it becomes honest. Love still exists. Hope still exists. But they now come with fear attached. Every happy moment feels fragile, like it could break at any time. This goodbye also changes how relationships are seen. Trust becomes more precious. Time together feels more important. The characters are no longer living as if tomorrow is guaranteed. There is a sense that every shared moment could be the last of its kind. This emotional shift is one of the most powerful tools the show uses in its final season. It does not need constant danger to create tension. The fear of loss is enough. For the audience, this moment asks for something as well. It asks viewers to watch differently, to stop waiting for big twists and instead pay attention to small details. A look held too long, a smile that feels forced, a goodbye that sounds like a normal farewell but carries deeper meaning. Episode 2 teaches fans how to read the rest of the season, not with excitement alone, but with care. The goodbye also sets expectations. It tells fans that the ending may not give everyone what they want, but it will stay true to the story. This show has never promised easy answers. It has always shown that love can survive many things, but not without scars. Episode 2 prepares the audience for an ending that will honor that truth. As the final season continues, the shadow of this episode will remain. It will echo in future choices and future losses. Even moments of joy will feel touched by it. And that is not a weakness. It is a reminder of how deeply these characters matter. A story cannot hurt like this unless it has earned that pain over time. Episode 2 does not close a door completely. It leaves it slightly open. But everyone can feel the cold air coming through. The goodbye fans feared is no longer just a fear. It is now part of the story. And from here on, every step forward feels like a step closer to the end. The goodbye in episode 2 does not arrive the way many expected. There is no long speech, no dramatic music rising in the background, no clear moment where a character says, "This is the end." Instead, the goodbye slips in quietly. It hides inside small actions and unfinished words. And that is what makes it so painful. Fans feared this kind of goodbye because it feels real. In real life, goodbyes are often unclear until it is too late. This moment has been building for a long time. Long-time viewers have seen the signs across many seasons. The danger, the risks, the choices that always came with a price. Episode 2 does not shock by surprise. It hurts by confirmation. It confirms what many fans already felt in their hearts but did not want to accept. That the story is reaching a point where not everyone can walk away unchanged. The power of this goodbye comes from how small it seems on the surface. A shared look, a soft touch, a pause that lasts just a second too long. These details tell the real story. The characters know something important is happening, even if they do not say it. The audience knows it too. That shared understanding creates a deep emotional connection. You are not just watching a scene. You are feeling it with them. This is where the show's strength truly shines. Outlander has always understood that love and loss do not need big moments to feel real. Episode 2 uses this idea perfectly. The goodbye feels personal. It feels private, almost like the audience is not supposed to be watching. That intimacy makes it harder to bear. For many fans, this scene triggers memories of past losses in the story, characters who left, moments that could never be taken back. The episode quietly connects those memories to the present. It reminds viewers that this world has never been safe, no matter how strong the love was. Survival always came at a cost. Episode 2 simply brings that truth closer than ever before. What makes this goodbye even more painful is the lack of closure. There is no clear answer, no promise that everything will be okay. The episode leaves space for fear, for doubt, for hope that may never be rewarded. This open feeling stays with the audience long after the episode ends. Fans feared this kind of goodbye because it refuses to comfort. It refuses to lie. By the end of this section of the story, it becomes clear that the goodbye is not just about one moment. It is about a shift, a change in the heart of the story. Something has been crossed. A line has been stepped over. Even if the characters continue forward, they will not be the same again. This is the goodbye fans feared not because it is loud, but because it is quiet. Not because it ends everything at once, but because it begins an ending that cannot be stopped. Episode 2 does not take something away immediately. It lets the audience sit with the knowledge that something precious is slipping out of reach. And sometimes that is the hardest goodbye of all. Episode 2 does not rush to shock the audience. Instead, it moves slowly, almost gently, like it knows something painful is coming and wants to give everyone time to breathe. From the opening moments, there is a strange calm. The world looks normal. Life goes on. But under that calm surface, something feels wrong. The episode carries a quiet tension that never leaves. It stays in the background of every scene, reminding viewers that peace does not always mean safety. The story in this episode focuses more on emotions than action. There are no loud twists at the start, no sudden danger. What we see instead are characters going through their daily lives while carrying heavy thoughts. They speak, but not fully. They listen, but seem distracted. This is where the episode becomes powerful. It shows how people act when they know something bad may be coming, but do not know how to stop it. The pacing is slow on purpose. Every scene is allowed to breathe. Long pauses are not cut away. Faces stay on screen a little longer than usual. These choices matter. They force the audience to sit with the feeling. You are not told what to feel. You are invited to feel it on your own. This style has always been part of Outlander, but in episode 2 it feels sharper and more focused. One of the strongest parts of this episode is how it uses silence. Some of the most important moments happen when no one is speaking. A look between two people says more than words ever could. A pause before a reply feels heavy, like a choice is being weighed. These moments tell the audience that something is changing, even if the story does not explain it right away. The episode also plays with memory and time in a very careful way. Small reminders of the past appear, not as flashbacks, but as feelings. A place, an object, a shared moment. These details remind viewers of how far the characters have come. They also remind us of what could be lost. The show does not need to explain this. Longtime fans understand it instantly. There is also a strong sense of distance in this episode. Not physical distance, but emotional distance. Characters who are usually open seem guarded. Words are chosen carefully. Feelings are held back. This creates an uncomfortable feeling, but it is intentional. It shows people protecting themselves, even from those they love most. That emotional wall is one of the biggest signs that a goodbye may be coming. As episode 2 moves forward, the tension slowly grows. Nothing explodes. Nothing breaks. But the pressure builds. Every scene adds another layer. By the middle of the episode, the audience can feel it clearly. Something important is being set up. Something that will hurt. And by the end, even without a clear farewell spoken out loud, the message is clear. This episode is not just telling a story. It is preparing the audience for loss. Episode 2 works because it trusts the viewers. It does not explain every feeling. It does not hold hands. It believes that fans who have followed this journey for years will understand the weight of what is happening. And that trust makes the episode even more emotional. You are not watching a goodbye yet. You are watching the moment right before it begins. What if the goodbye you feared for years did not come with loud music, big words, or tears, but with silence? What if one quiet moment changed everything you thought you knew about the end of this story? Episode 2 of the final season delivers a feeling that hits slow, deep, and hard. Fans knew this day would come, but knowing does not make it easier. This is the goodbye many feared, and it begins here. For many fans, Outlander is not just a show. It is a long journey. A journey that started years ago with love, pain, war, time travel, and impossible choices. Season 8 is not just another season. It is the final chapter. That alone makes every episode feel heavy. But episode 2 feels different. It carries a quiet warning. It tells viewers, without saying it clearly, that things will never be the same again. This episode matters because it reminds us that endings do not always arrive with drama. Sometimes, endings arrive slowly. They sit in the background. They grow with every look, every pause, and every moment where characters choose not to speak. Episode 2 uses this silence in a powerful way. It does not rush. It does not explain everything. Instead, it lets the feeling grow, the fear, the sadness, the sense that time is running out. From the very start, the episode feels calm on the surface, but heavy underneath. The story does not jump into action. It stays close to the characters. It watches them think. It watches them struggle with thoughts they cannot say out loud. This is important, because this show has always been about emotional truth, not just big events. Episode 2 stays true to that idea. It shows that the hardest goodbyes often begin long before the actual farewell. Fans who have followed this story for years understand what is at stake. They know how much has already been lost. Friends, family, homes, and time itself. Because of that history, every small moment in this episode feels larger. A simple touch feels final. A long look feels like a memory being made. The episode asks the audience to pay attention, not to what is said, but to what is felt. This is also the episode where the weight of Season 8 becomes clear. Until now, some fans may have hoped the ending would be gentle, that it would give comfort. Episode 2 quietly challenges that hope. It suggests that the final season will not protect the audience from pain. Instead, it will respect the story by being honest. Honest about love. Honest about loss. Honest about the cost of living a life shaped by impossible choices. Another reason this episode matters is because it sets the emotional direction for everything that comes next. It draws a line. Before this episode, there was still time. After this episode, time feels limited. The story begins to move with purpose, not fast, but forward. There is no turning back. The characters feel it, and so does the audience. In many ways, Episode 2 is not about saying goodbye out loud. It is about preparing the heart for it. It teaches viewers how to watch the rest of the season. Slowly, carefully, with attention, because every moment now could be the last of its kind, and that understanding makes this episode one of the most important in the entire final season. This is why Episode 2 matters, not because of one big scene, but because of what it changes inside the story, and inside the people watching. The goodbye fans feared does not start with tears. It starts with silence.